Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 2022 Kalgoorlie Retrovision GFL Final Series League Grand Final between Boulder City and Railways Football Clubs. We'd like to thank our major sponsors, Retrovision Kalgoorlie, Goldfields Crane Hire, Worthy Parts, Bega Health, City of Kalgoorlie Boulder, JR Turner Cabinets and Rickland Emergency Management Services. The field umpires for today will be Dave Roberts, Anthony Kerr, Steve Tedge. The goals will be Graham Davis and Brendan R. Kim, and the emergency is Matthew Hodgson. I'd like now introduce Victor Smith to do the welcome to country.
Okay guys, before we get started today, I'd just like to acknowledge the Gubborn people as the traditional owners of the land of which we meet today, where we're going to be having a good game of footy today. I'd like to pass our respect on to the elders past and present and our younger generation who are going to be our future leaders today. So in saying that, guys, best of luck to both teams. Play hard, play fair, and may the best team win. Thank you.
Could I now ask everybody to be upstanding for the national anthem? Thank you. For the coin toss, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of City of Kalgoorlie Boulder, Mr. John Bowler. Could we have the two captains come forward, please? Tails called by Railways. Heads it is.
Play gets underway this afternoon. It is the GFL Grand Final on SEN. Logan Hughes gets the receipt of the tap from Dale Hamilton and he manages to go to ground. We'll get a ball up immediately in the middle of Diggador's Oval. As we get underway here on SEN, in there as well was Jordan Reid. Ball hasn't gone anywhere in particular. It's still in that middle square. Hamilton gets his foot to it, gets some ground on it for the Tigers. They go into a forward approach and it's with Connor Murray. He's there all wrapped up underneath. With him was Trent Reid for the Railways Football Club. Umpire has seen that there will be an opportunity for himself to get himself into the game, and umpire Tedge manages to put the ball back into orbit. We've travelled about 30 seconds. We're just on the half-forward line at the moment for the Tigers. Inside opportunity here for them. In there was Albert Dean. He had a sniff of it, but comes out now with Railways in defence. Anything that's caught your eye so far, Michael?
No, I'm just looking at the pressure and just seeing how long it's going to take to sort of get the footy out and clean. But at the moment, it just looks like both sides are going to bottle it up a little bit until there's some clean footy and clean use.
Corey Dempster doing a little bit of work there for the Tigers, but a mark just over the boundary line. Will get a ball in on that far Rec Hotel pocket, as we mentioned this afternoon. Our first quarter, thanks to Salty Surf and Skate on Hannon Street. It is SEN Radio bringing you the GFL Grand Final. Ball goes up. Jordan Reid in the ruck contest there for the Panthers, but Boulder managed to get a clearing kick, looking for almost a centre-half forward position. In a spot there was Newich. Ball spills free. Umpire's seen a push. Boulder free kick. It's been called for holding. And a free kick to the Tigers to get things underway. This is Newich and his big, shiny boots. Makes it easy to call this afternoon. But Newich will line up. He's got a good kick on him, just Jack Newich.
Interesting one, that one, mate. I'm looking at it from a backman's point of view. I didn't think he did too much wrong there.
Well, Newich has had 29 goals so far this season for the Boulder City Football Club, and he's on the runway at the moment. To the Burt Street end. Newich got behind it. There's a bit of a swirling breeze. Just to the right-hand side, it's a minor score to get underway this afternoon here at Diggador's Oval. A bit of wind just happened to kick up at the wrong time as the Tigers are in defence now. Railways moving the ball around. This is Josh Mathers. Looks up and finds Reid.
Those two will link up pretty well all day.
Trent Reid comes down the broadcast wing, which is the grandstand side, the Brett Turner grandstand side. Good mark there, taken in amongst things from Jacob Oakes.
Keep an eye on him, mate. Yep. He's one that doesn't sort of get a lot of notoriety, but he just keeps popping up. He doesn't play that, he doesn't look that tall, but he plays very tall, takes a good contested mark.
He just did then exactly that. So it's with Oakes at the moment. He probably needs a glove or a nice little bit of a flannel just to get his hands clear. Some grass that's on that, a bit of debris. He goes further down the line for a contest. Over the back was Yaron. He manages to receive that. Read it very well, was all wrapped up. And umpire Anthony Kerr says, give it to me and I'll ball it up. So Kerr is just inside the 50, Boulder Clubroom side of Diggerdores Oval. Ball goes up, no one contests the ruck in particular. Ball comes out of the contest. Here's Swallow with the long sleeves. Gets it to Hughes. They've played a little bit of footy together over the last few years. Goes no further, though, than Railways. And it goes to ground out of that contest through the work of Reid. Boulder link up with some handballs. Leach is in there as well. Gets the hand pass across. Ball spills free. No one wants to take any possession. They just want to try and whittle it away and see what comes of this contest. And we get a boundary throw in almost right in front of us.
A little bit nervous there, Reid. He dropped that one. There was 3 or 4 Boulder boys surrounding him. He'd normally take them.
So we get a boundary throw in right in front of us here in the great commentary position as umpire Dave Roberts, very clear and concise. The umpires are mic'd up this afternoon, so you'll get a little bit more communication from them. It's a free kick to the Tigers, their second. He's worked his way down the ground. It is Jake Newich, travelled almost 5 minutes in his first turn thanks to Salty's surf and skate. The ball goes further down the line, close to the boundary line. Hot pursuit through that was the work of Jai Rout on his opponent there, and Jai Rout is a bit of a live wire, almost a barometer for the Tigers, you would think, this afternoon as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's a dangerous forward. He's just hard to stop when he's out on that lead, and he's getting good delivery at him. But you just see how Newich, how hard he worked up the ground there then.
The 1%ers, and if they come from the likes of Bronson Bishop and his smother out of that, the Tigers are in a good position this afternoon, but the ball is in their forward line. It's deep. Running onto it is Michael Wood. What can he do? He looks to centre it up. No, he gets it to Swallow. Could have been taken out of that Swallow. Umpire saw it that way. And umpire Tej, it looks like he's probably preparing for cricket season with that white brim hat on. Marks it out for Swallow. Speaking of cricketers, he's good at cricket as well. And Swallow's going to line up towards the Burt Street end.
Yeah, and look, when I talk about Jake Newich being the barometer for Boulders as well, I think Jeb Swallow cuts us to pieces all the time. And him and Woody just seem to work so well together. And you have a look at Woody there. He didn't waste it. He just turned around, looked for someone. He knew that Swallow would be there.
By the way, I didn't get your tip earlier on, but it's Swallow now at the moment. Goes to the Burt Street end. It's a good kick. It's straight to Graham Davis, and he says the 2 big fingers are going to be mine. The Tigers with the first goal of the game this afternoon as they go to 1-1 on the scoreboard. Railways yet to have a positive forward entry into their front 50.
Mate, I've swayed a couple of times with my tip. Obviously, I probably, Boulders had the better of us throughout the season, and we were probably, had some good contests with Railways. So, based on against us, I would have said Boulder, but I wouldn't write Railways off. They're a good fourth quarter team, and they do play 4 quarters. So even if Boulders get a lead for 3 quarters, I think you've still got to watch Railways in the last.
I'll forgive you for your Kangas hat, mate, for this one as well. Got to be neutral in commentary. Ball's back in the middle of Diggerdores Oval this afternoon. This could be an opportunity for the Railways Footy Club to go inside, and they use it this time. Good opportunity at the back was Shannon Nelson. He goes to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-1 contest. Yaron's at the back, gets it to boot. And a very quick answer from the Railways Football Club has a margin to 1 point again as we've travelled 6.5 minutes.
He's taken that out of mid-air and turned in mid-air and just got his boot to ball there, so he's done really well, Yaz.
He is a very handy footballer. He can sink his slipper into him and put him all the way over to Johnson Street from Diggerdores almost. But that's a quick response. We saw the Tigers also moving through their players, obviously with a chance to rotate pretty quickly. So they were taking 3 on, 3 off at the same time, keeping everyone fresh.
Yeah, and you've just got to watch those. We need to rotate, or they need to rotate today in the heat, but you have a look at that. That rotation there might have actually cost them that goal with how quick Railways moved the footy down.
So we're back in here at Diggerdores Oval in the middle of the ground as we link up at the moment. Ball's a little bit free, a bit of a stalemate. Onto it straight away was Dean Haynes in the middle of Diggerdores. And umpire Dave Roberts says, give it to me. So he just waits for a little bit of settling. Ball goes up and back down. quite heavily congested in the middle of the ground. Gorby, both teams play this sort of style of game, don't they?
Yeah, Railways more so than Boulder. I think Boulder do like to sort of get out and get some clean possessions, where Railways will be quite happy to bottle it up all day.
Dean Hayes gets all wrapped up, and umpire has probably his 5th attempt at a ball up in the middle of Digador. So we travelled 8 minutes in this first term thanks to Salty Surf and Skate on Hannon Street. Haynes has been lively in this passage of play, and he manages to remonstrate a little bit with Daniel Leach as the ball gets back to the umpire for another ball up.
Interesting to see Corey Yo's impact in tight here. He's quite strong through the hips and he can break tackles in there.
As Albert Dean gets the ball away, he kicked it to no one in particular. The call on this one will be a boundary throw-in. So ball in from just inside the Railways bench there. I think the umpires had more possession this afternoon than any players at this particular point in time. It's been a heavily contested game so far. Ball goes up, spills free. Haynes, he's been around the ball for the last few minutes, gets straight onto it. He plays that role to try and congest up play and draw a couple of players in, Dean Haynes, and he's done that pretty well today so far.
Yeah, he does. And to be honest, mate, I think Rhett Pettit's game style will be a lot of that today, just trying to really wear him down into that fourth quarter. I know that he was quite keen for the Heat to sort of keep rising today because they do have a few fit boys.
So Jake Newich manages to be the recipient of a free kick. His kick goes to right into the hot spot. Big pack flies, but it's Railways who managed to gain momentum here, and they'll go to centre half forward. Oh, going up for that one with a hand on it was Newich. Always likes to get something like that happening. Ball spills free. There's a lot of space on the defensive side for the Tigers, but that means that the Panthers also don't have too much to kick to. Ball goes to the 50-metre arc for them on the far side. Running onto it over there was Jed Edwards. Manages to receive a kick in the proceedings.
Nearly a one-handed clutch Superman mark there.
So he goes to a one-on-one contest. That's all they are inside the 50. Swallows in there as well. He was taken high and a free kick to the Tigers. He'll switch up the play, go across the face of goals. Here's Haynes, who's had quite a bit of the footy so far this afternoon. He's playing a bit of a role, Haynes, which is aggravating the Panthers. The ball comes to Connor Murray with the tats almost all over his body bar, the right-hand side. Kick finds Newich on the wing, right in front of the interchange. Probably coming for a rest, he was, Newich. He's been into it quite a bit with a 50 as well. Thomas Galway, sorry, not Thomas, it was Kyle Ryder there who was probably remonstrating a little bit. Didn't see quite what that 50 was for.
It was either Kyle Ryder or Jack Kennedy having something to say to Carey there, and Carey doesn't put up with that. He's just straight onto a 50 metres. And I was about to say, you're happy with Jake Newich getting his possessions up here on the wing, but they've just dragged him down to get him a 50-metre penalty right on the 50 line now.
That is where he is dangerous, Newich, but he looks to centre the kick up. He saw a man all by himself over there, looks like Wood. Ball spills out of that. It was Lockie Hawkins, actually. Comes out of that with a shot on goal for the Tigers. That's a big kick. That is a huge kick for the Tigers. And getting that one is Ben Sherry.
Ben Sherry.
Oh, Sherry.
He's done well there.
Indeed, and he lively in front of the goals there. It's the second for the Tigers this afternoon, but as you pointed out, Newich.
Mate, just silly. I think, you know, it's the one thing, it's a coach killer. You know, if you've got a guy who's got possession here, that's exactly what you want. You want him kicking long down the line. Just shut your mouth and just, you know, don't aggravate the umpires anymore.
Jarvis DeLacy off and Taj Kelman getting a run on as we reset the play in the middle of Digador's oval. We've travelled 11 and a half minutes. 2 goals won, the Tigers.
That was good by Ben Sherry too. He's worked his way into this season. He probably looked a little bit underdone at the start of the season, but he's looking pretty fit now.
So back in the middle of Digador's, Swallows into that proceedings as well. Here's Albie Dean as well. Ball comes out of there, could be holding the ball. There was a throw in, now holding ball indeed. It was Corey Yo, your man that you want to keep a bit of a tag on this afternoon.
Yeah, he's just done well there, Alex Stewart, just to pin his arm. You know, he broke through him with the hips, but he managed to get his arm, so he actually ended up throwing that one away.
So Stewart managed to get that in a dart-like pass to Reid. Didn't quite take the mark, but managed to receive a free kick out of that.
Yeah, same thing, mate. I'm putting my backman's hat on there. I didn't think there was too much in that. I actually reckon he dropped that one, but he's got a free kick out of that one.
Maybe it's a leveller from the umpires, but it is Jordan Reid at the moment.
On Peachy too.
Yeah, big one. Lines up to the Whitnome Street end, but just a little to the right-hand side. And it's a minus score. So back to 6 points the margin. 2-1 plays 1-1 in favour of the home team, which is the Boulder City Football Club this afternoon. We're going to work it out at defence. And they'll go to the far side of Digadors. And that's where a bit of the play normally happens on broadcast. Coming across now to work. Could be Burge, is it, on that far side?
I think that's Brett Blair out there. He just got pinned.
His hair's growing back because he was bleached.
Yeah.
But it's with Kelman, and this is the younger Kelman in Judd. He puts it into the boot, goes to a centre-half forward position, comes out of there with the Mitchell medalist in Jack Steele. He puts it on the right hand. He did very well to get it around the corner to Shannon Nelson, who played a little bit of his footy up in the northern part of the state throughout the start of the year and then transitioned over to Railways. Qualified up for the grand final, of course, in the final series.
Yeah, haven't seen much of Shannon this year. Only just saw him the last few weeks back here. But same thing, he's probably a little bit underdone, but he's got good quality, Shannon Nelson. So, he'll be a handful up forward. He'll have to take a good defender.
So Nelson is in the pocket for this one to the Whitnum Street end. It's a minor score for the Railways Football Club. 1-2 plays 2-1. It's the Tigers who've got the lead by 5 points this afternoon. And they are working it out of defence at the moment. Peach, he's got a solid kick on him.
Yeah.
Manages to pick it up here through the work of Thomas Galway. Further down to Jeb Swallow in the long sleeves. A couple of long sleevers out there for the Tigers. Not unusual for them on grand final day. Newich is the target. Doesn't quite win possession. That was pretty handy from Newich in terms of just paddling the ball out, not quite taking a possession.
Yeah, he was surrounded by Railways boys there. And I just think that, if you're going to let Newich get some possessions, you just keep pushing him high, keep pushing him wide.
So ball's in. Hamilton gets his mitts on it first of all. Kelman's in there as well. Taj goes to ground. And a ball up with umpire Dave Roberts. Just on the half-forward line here for the Tigers, who are going to the Burt Street end. As there's a bit of aggro between Leach and Hughes.
Oh, that's unusual.
In goes the ball. Swallow manages to get the clearing kick out of here. Mark couldn't quite be taken, but the ball spills free for the Tigers. They're on the last line. In there is Brett Blair. Ball comes under his legs, out of bounds for a boundary throw and about 15 metres around grandstand side of Digadors.
It'll be interesting to see how Kyle Ryder goes today, because he's got probably a head shorter than Jake Newich, but he's definitely got the quality to go with him. I think he just needs to play him smart.
Well, Newich down to Sherry, didn't go too far. Panthers all wrapped up in that proceeding. Comes out of there, spills free in there is Guy Rout as well. Panthers blocking the proceedings of the Tigers, trying to move it forward as they go now further down the wing towards an opportunity here, but out of bounds in front of the Railways bench. Couldn't quite take anything there, Benny James.
It's actually Dale Hamilton, mate. Have a look at the haircut on him.
They're both running around with some nude nuts.
Shaved 3/4 on the top with just a little bit left at the back.
Who is that, out of some movie or something?
I don't know. I think it's out of a prison TV doco.
Prison break out there, Dale Hamilton. But anyway, back into the middle and the guts of Digadors Oval is where we are this afternoon. Jumping on top of the ball, we see a ball up. Having travelled into this particular grand final now, 15 minutes in this first quarter, thanks to Salty Surf and Skate. Ball comes out of there, gets all wrapped up with Stewart, and the umpire says, give it to me. So pretty hot. Pretty settled though. Teams have been so far. 2-1 plays 1-2. It's in favour of the Tigers at the moment as Leach is first to the ball. He gets met up by Rout, holding the ball, dispossessed it. He strangles Hughes. Now that could have almost been a 50. Wasn't taken, but Newich manages to receive. And Leach and Hughes receive a little bit of attention from the umpires out of that one as well. Being told to keep their eye on it, they are now. But Newich, who was almost in a similar position as he was about 5 minutes of gameplay ago, where he squared up a kick and has got the ball with the Railways bench behind him.
The umpires need to get on top of that sort of stuff early. You can't let that go on.
So here it is, Newich. Big game player is Newich. Right foot kick, tries to use the wing to bring it around. Hasn't used it enough. It's a minor score, 2-2, 1-2 at 6 points. One straight goal the margin in favour of the Tigers. Mark was dropped there out of the contest by Mathers. Ball goes to ground out of that one. Umpire Teachers right there and hot on it. Free kick to the Panthers, and they'll work it around in their defence now. Moving it sharply to the far side through Hannigan. Here's Stubbs. Norman Stubbs in the number 10 this afternoon. Brad Edwards, he couldn't find the big jumper for the 27, so he's had to wear 10.
He's done well there, Stubbs. He obviously bounced over his head, but he made sure it went over.
So that's the clever experience, I suppose, of Stubbs in that regime this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that you know, Railways for me, you just got to watch that. I think they're a really sort of smart team, and that's why I just think that they never give up. And 4 quarters of footy is what they play.
Jordan Hooks gets something on that one as Blair lights up. Doesn't take a full possession out of that one. Glenn Stones gets his name on the ball this afternoon. Ball comes to a contest, a 2-on-1. Both players taken out of it at the same time. And umpire Tej says, give it to me. We're in that Rec Hotel pocket at the moment. We have travelled into this first term some 18-odd minutes. A slight little breeze you can hear coming through the broadcast at the moment. Has swung around a little bit from favouring that Rec Hotel end to almost Moran Street. The ball back into play, close to the boundary line. Might have been Bishop who's in that play as well, close to the boundary line for a throw-in.
Are you giving away a prize today for the mark of the game? Well, not because the Boulder boys seem to be flying for it.
They are flying heavily. Sadly, though, we haven't got any big prizes on offer this afternoon unless Worthy Parts want to put something up. Gorby, as the ball comes back into it, coming out of that one now is a possession for the Tigers, getting all wrapped up. They are right here on that half-forward line. They can't seem to move it forward from this. Railways have been quite contained in their play. And another ball up this afternoon. Quite a lot of congested play in this first term, which I suppose just allows some breaths to be taken to, Bertie.
Yeah, a bit of red time now. I think both sides will be just trying to bottle it up and get through to the quarter-time siren, have a drink, have a break. They won't want Boulder to score here, Railways. Boulder have done well there to get it in early to that 50.
Galway goes up and a big mark taken there for the Tigers.
So Woody, that was the opposite of what Railways wanted there.
So Michael Wood, he's been around a couple of years with the Tigers. He's got the wing to contest with. He's got a little bit of a battle on that far side for his 14 games so far. 27 season goals. Back in round 6 at his best game against Railways with 3 in a day.
He's been a bit of a handful early, Woody. He's been attacking that footy and just coming back on it and just trying to use possession there.
Well, he goes across the face of goals. Nothing taken out of that one. We'll get a boundary throw-in, which is probably not bad, dealing with a bit of swirly breeze towards that end for the Tigers.
Must be a tricky breeze, mate, because they've only kicked 2 goals, 1, but I reckon that there's probably been 3 or 4 shots that just haven't gone through and registered a score.
Ball's back in. Big tap there from Nuich. Players all around this one, fighting hard for those possession. Might have been Haynes in and under that one, and the umpire says, give it to me. Ball goes up, I think it was Sherry actually, who was at the bottom of that pack. Railways have got a chance for a clearing kick here, but it goes no further than Yo. And Corey Yo has got the ball with us right behind him. We are into time on now. Just clicked over in this first quarter thanks to Salty Surf and Skate on SEN. 16-11 on your AM.
He'll be having a shot from right on 50 in front of mine's dugout here, really.
So Yo, right foot kick, uses the breeze a little bit. Does it come back enough? That's a huge kick from Yo. Balanced it lovely off the boot, used the breeze to all of its glory. And Yo gets the 3rd for the Tigers this afternoon. 3 goals, 1. They skip 2, or 1 goal, 2. Railways as we hit time on. That's a time on goal that'll hurt Rhett Pettit and his team.
Oh, yeah, I think if you've got a microphone, mate, you might want to go out and listen to Rhett's quarter-time speech after letting that one go through.
We'll keep our licence, thanks, Gorby. Yeah, there won't be too much to like out of that one for the Railways Footy Club. Only the 4 goals kicked in this particular game so far this afternoon. It is the grand final of the Goldfields Footy League for you, streaming nationwide on the SEN platform. That's an app. Download it. You can get all of the Cricket World Cup that's not too far away around the corner as well. We're thinking about that in about a month's time. But right now it's all on Diggerdores Oval, and in the middle is Leach. He gets taken out of possession. Ball comes out of there with Albie Dean. Dean's kick goes to a forward advantage here for the Tigers. There's a little bit of space there. No one right onto it. In there, though, was the work of Moras. We'll get a ball up.
Albie Dean's just sitting there at those throw-ups, just as the quarterback role, all by himself, just uncontested, a bit like Jordan Delbridge does for Mines.
So Hamilton was in that contest as well, complete with his big haircut. Seb's Swallows all wrapped up out of that one as well, and another ball up. So we are moments away from quarter time. Big presence here of crowd, big presence of police, big presence of atmosphere as well for the Ray Cranage Memorial Cup. Is that Peach who's managed to wake his way forward? No, I think it's Bronson Bishop. And we'll get a ball in, just in that Rec Hotel pocket in this red time at the moment. So we'll be seconds away from quarter time. Goal scorers for the Tigers, Yo, Swallow, and Sherry. Ball comes now. Could there be one more to add? No, there's not. As we hit quarter time at Diggerdores Oval, it is the Tigers who have skipped off to an early lead. 3-1 plays 1-2 with a slight advantage of the breeze.
You're very good. No. You're here for your maths and your commentary. The old veggie maths at JPC was never right up to it, but it is now. I can tell you that right now. As the clearing kick is with Leach, he goes forward for the Railways Football Club. Hamilton and his haircut's in there as well. He gets the ball out of that one. An unlucky kick and an unlucky boot there for the Tigers. Railways will capitalise on that one. Big high kick there from Jacob Oakes, goes to the top of the square. Yaron was there waiting for it to fall. Falls that way. Ball spills free. Here's Hughes. He gets the hand pass away to Swallow. They're quick out of defence here. Peach is there. He's a big body to go to ground. Stewart gets all wrapped up, gets away a hand pass. It goes to Yaron. We said he can slipper into it. It's a big kick from Yaron. Was it on the goal? No, it stays in. I thought it might have touched the goalpost on the way through. But you never dispute Graham Davis. In the end, it is a behind. It's a minor score.
Railways pressure's pretty hot there down forward, locking that ball in.
Railways 1-3, the Tigers 3-1. Far side of Diggerdores. Very quick transition this afternoon. Aaron Sweet will be happy to be in front at quarter time. The big grand final for the Boulder City Football Club. They've been around the Tigers since 1896. They're up against the Railways Footy Club, who've had a very buoyant last couple of decades. Inside 50 for an opportunity here. Ball goes over the top of the two men, flying up for that chance, and we see
Jack Steele went straight through his hands there, which is a bit uncharacteristic like with him. He's clunk marked all year, which is why he won Mitchell.
Which is where we see the opportunity now on the far side, where Steele is just hovering, but Reid is in there as well. In the ruck contest, he'll get first opportunity for the ball here for the Railways Footy Club, who almost pick up another chance through there. So too is Jed Edwards. Ball spills out of this one with Swallow. 8-0 look amazingly close in broadcast. We can say that as Mathers takes a mark on 50. He elects to play on. Pete didn't see, or Brunson Bishop didn't see what was happening in his rear vision mirror. But it's a minor score for the Railways Footy Club on transition of that one.
Mathers would be disappointed with that one there. He's normally a pretty good user of the ball, Mathers, and he was out and he was clear, kicking from about 45 with not much read there.
So it all changes up very quickly. Peach. He gets a big kick away here to the far side of Diggerdores. Burge was his target, but I think it might be out on the full. And it'll be Judd Kelman who gets the kick in for the Railways Footy Club room. G'day, yeah, we can see on your commentary over there. Ball comes back in pretty quickly. It's a big kick from Kelman, goes to the top of the square. A blocking kick, is it? A block for Steele?
Yeah, it looks like
Steele will pick up the free kick.
About 25 out there, dead in front, so he should put the front through.
And the Mitchell medalist who is lining up this afternoon for the co-Mitchell medalist, I should say, alongside Jordan Delbridge, gets a chance on goal at the Diggerdores. Andy, 6:55 so far in 2022 has Steele, and he comes through, pumps up his biceps on the way through, gets the red legs up and about early in this second quarter. On SEN, it is the footy for you from Diggerdores Oval, the GFL Grand Final. 2-3, plays 3-1. Railways consolidate some of their early work in this term.
Interesting to see Railways there. Wasn't a lot of carry on after they kicked that goal. I would have expected a little bit more being a grand final. Probably where I was a bit disappointed in our side the other night when we were, 1 point down. We kicked the goal to get within 1 point and no one celebrated, and that was the time where I knew mentally we were a little bit off. So interesting to see how they play the rest of the quarter.
So we've travelled about 3 minutes in this second term for you, and thanks again to all of the great support that's managed to come this way, including from MLG. We've got some great solutions when it comes to logistics. But here comes Dean. He gets a clearing kick out, goes to that far wing. It's Burge who's straight onto this one. Sam Burge, nice young player. Sam gets the kick around for the opportunity here of Wood in there, doing something out of nothing. Wood was all tackled up.
Hold footy, that one.
Hold the ball.
I called it from here,
well
but
done.
It just took a while to call it.
Well done. And a free kick to Railways. They'll go back down that far wing. Using the wing to the advantage. Big man fly coming out of that one is Kelvin, gets a big kick to it. Goes into the middle of Diggerdores. And he switches up play. Mathers is free. But by the time Bishop looked around, he managed to gain a bit of ground. Gets the hand pass out of that one. Klepp's in there as well. He gets all wrapped up. Back to Mathers. Puts it on his right foot. Mathers towards goal. Hits the post on the way through. An unlucky point But one which has come the way of the Railways Footy Club. 2-4.
Bronson saved him a goal there.
Plays
He
3-1.
He was clear out Mathers. It's going to be an interesting battle. Let's just have a look at these two over there, Sam Burge and Judd Kelman this quarter.
Yep.
Both of them doing some good work on that wing. I didn't see much of Judd in that first quarter, whether he was on the bench, but he's done some good stuff early.
Well, he's managed to settle down a little bit, and the kick from Burge goes and finds Newich.
Up high on the ground as well, where you want him.
So his kick goes further down the line there. Looking for Maris. Maris, it is, who receives. Right in front of the wordy part, signed. Good supporters of GFL footy are now broadcast this afternoon. The kick goes to Wood, looks to turn his opponent inside out. Almost dropped the ball, Wood, but close to the boundary line for a boundary going.
They scored that holding the ball again.
Hold the ball.
The same thing.
Okay, so the ball comes further back towards the work there of Kelman.
Judd Kelman. So Burge has done the same thing for them up that end, and now Judd's doing the same thing here. So it's going to be an interesting battle, these two.
Good wing battle for both of them on that far wing. Chance to reset. 3-1, plays 2-4. The Boulder Tigers
all up now.
Early starts, and at quarter time they led 3-1 to 1-2, but it's Railways who have managed to have the 3 scoring shots so far in this second term. Ball comes back in, it's the advantage of the Tigers. Maris is first onto it. He needs to be quick, he gets all wrapped up, could have been holding the ball. The umpire gives him the opportunity of the benefit of the doubt, and we'll get a ball up about 35 metres out from the Boulder goals towards Whitney Street end. They're going in this second term. So Reid goes up, the big men go and fly. Ball spills free out of that one. It's all wrapped up in there with the Railways defence. Holding the ball might have been Trent Reid, who was underneath the bottom of all that, and a kick to Albert Dean. Dean, good young player, Albie.
Quite a tight angle, but he's a good goal kicker. He's a good finisher. I don't know how many goals he's finished with this season, but I know he's kicked a few against us. There you go, 18 for the season as a sort of small forward midfielder. A good effort.
Albie Dean with some crowd behind him as well. It's a little flat in the kick. It's a minor score, 3-2. The Tigers go to on the scoreboard this afternoon. Plays 2-4. Yeah, it was a bit of a flat kick, wasn't it? I don't know if he was trying to counteract the wind or not. Yeah. So Railways move into play through Matt Hannigan. It's a big kick from him. Flying up there was the work of Galloway, yeah. His locks flying as well in that contest, and we'll get a ball up.
He's been lively, Thomas Galloway. Oh, there you go. He gets the possession out of that.
So he managed to receive a free. He goes inside 50. Wood was the target. Could have been a push. It was. That's his third kick that he's given away, Wood.
Free kick there in about 3 minutes.
Aaron Sweet's not happy with that one. The hat goes from backwards to forwards. I don't know if that's an indication of where his temper sits. As the free kick goes with Hannigan down the line. Good mark taken and read of the play over the far side by Leach. It could have been. His kick goes further down the line, finds Klepp. Klepp turns around, gets around 2, manages to shrug both of them off. Goes inside towards Reid. Good mark taken there by Jordan Reid, it is. And he has an opportunity to line up for what would put the Railways Footy Club into the lead. They currently trail by 4 points.
Sweetie will be fuming with that one. That's a big ruckman. For him to play on like that, turn around and get around 2 guys and get that ball in so quick up forward, he'll be absolutely shattered, and he's going to be the one that creates his goal as they kick it.
So Reid's kick is towards the goals at the Burt Street end, and they celebrate a little bit.
Yeah, that's Cleffy's goal, that one, mate.
But they still don't get up and about, as you mentioned. They're well contained, the Railways Footy Club, in their celebration. In saying that, there's a few that have just managed to run to him.
Yeah, nah, still not what you'd expect when you're kicking goals in grand finals. I'd expect everyone to be up and about. I know it is hot out there, though, so they might be containing themselves.
Yeah, keeping a bit of a lid on it. As we're back in the middle of Diggerdores, and the Railways Football Club hit the lead this afternoon by 2 points. 3-2 plays 3-4. The Tigers only adding 1 point since quarter time, while for Railways they've added 2-2, making advantage of the slight breeze that was around going to that end. Claps back in the ruck in the middle of Diggerdores as Swallow manages to pick the pockets. His kick goes and finds Mathers, though. A turnover there. Mathers lining up now on Burge. Now this kick goes down the line. There's a couple through there. Ben James,
well
good mark, going back with the flight of the ball. Takes a good solid mark. Yo, right on the logo. Corey Yo. Picked one in that first quarter.
Sky Rout's been quiet, which is unusual for him, so it'll be interesting to see how he can work his way into the game.
Newich flew at the top there. Ball spills out of a Railways opportunity. Ball went to the boundary line. We'll get a boundary throw in as umpire Tej calls it, right in front of us, and we'll see straight down the boundary umpire's throat as he launches this ball into the orbit this afternoon. Nice warm afternoon for footy here in the Goldfields. Nothing coming out of that one. Flett gets a second opportunity out of it, and we'll get another ball up right in front of us here. On the grandstand side of Diggerdores Oval is where we are this afternoon. Back up, and it's the two big men flying in there. It was Toby Hawkins. Ball comes out of there through the work of Daniel Leach. He was looking for Lockie Gilbert. And the boundary line is the better of the two. The Bird's just coming for a bit of a rest. Jai Rout is coming for a bit of a rest. But we won't be calling Rout for a couple more minutes. As you mentioned, he's had a pretty quiet game so far. Clip manages to get the tap out of that one. Heavy contest in there with Albert Dean. Was called for an illegal, was it?
He's called that from a long way away, which is unusual.
Dave Roberts about 50 metres off the play calling that.
Yeah, Teddy was right in front of that. I don't think he'd be happy with Dave calling it so far away.
Reece Lane goes down the lane. Ball spills out of that one close to the boundary line for a boundary throw, just a little bit around from the Railways dugout, which Railways in this particular second term, thanks to MLG, are heading towards the Burt Street end, and they have a 2-point lead, which Rep Pettit would be pretty pleased about with that turnaround from that quarter time score. Ball comes back in. Flett manages to get his mitts on it. Dean's in there as well, paddles it forward, stops up there with Sherry. Good hooks.
By Sherry there.
Hooks. He manages to look up to Brett Blair. He was looking to play on. Manages to see some runners in there as well. One of them was Hooks. You probably don't associate him too much with some forward running. Newich was in there but couldn't quite win a possession out of that one. Kelman's kick is a little squarer for Reece Lane, who receives in front of the Boulder club rooms, and Lane goes down the line. Lane down the line. We got Bishop, who's got a fair bit of tape on him. Steele's in there as well. All wrapped up is Steele with the work of Corey Dempster, who's probably wearing him a bit like a glove down back. Very, very far forward at the moment.
Two Railways flew then, no talk.
So ball comes out of that one.
Each other.
Coming out of their work there through the work of the Tigers was Hawkins right on the boundary line. There's a little bit of biff going on right in front of Tej with Leach. Unusual for Leach to be a little animated this afternoon. Hawkins gets the tap away on this occasion. Yo's in there as well. Comes out of there is Swallow. He's a little free. His squaring kick didn't really have anyone on the lead going in that same direction. All wrapped up there holding the ball. Could have been the call. Umpire calls it that way. And a bit of a salute for the Railways Football Club in a different manner from the Boulder Footy Club. But it's Newich coming around.
He read that footy really well there, but it's just that they were hot on him. As soon as he sidestepped back inboard, he stepped into two Boulder boys.
Well, the kick was against the flow of traffic, wasn't it, really? Bit unfortunate there, and some hard work from the Railways Footy Club in defence, but it's Newich who's lining up for his first this afternoon. Big kick from Newich is just across the face of goals, is a minus score. 3-3 plays 3-4. It's a 1-point margin in the GFL Grand Final on SEN. Thanks for joining us with your coverage right across the nation on the SEN app and also via 1611 AM here in Kalgoorlie Boulder. It's SEN Goldfields. The Railways just take a little bit of a breather as they work it out of defence. Reece Lane got some opportunities forward. Bronson Bishop's in a forward position, manages to get it on a second occasion. A big fend off from Bishop. He manages to buy a little bit of time. Swallow gets into a good position. Swallow arches the back, goes around on the left foot. He's got a player by himself who finds a little bit of free space. And a good mark there for Sherry. Gets on the right foot. Sherry goes to goal, but it goes across the face of goal. Probably should have just held himself back a little bit, Sherry. He just wanted to take advantage of the space that he gained, and it's a minor score where we've got it tied up in the grand final of 2022 at Diggerdores Oval. You wouldn't expect much else from two of the best teams of the GFL throughout 2022. No offence, Gorby. 3-4, 3-4 it is.
Going to be a good contest here. I think Bronson's pretty lucky not to give away a free kick there for the high fender if it was up. If that was the other way around, I think the Boulder crowd in front of us there might have been up in arms for that one.
Well, speaking of arms, there was a push out of that one. And umpire Kerr has seen it that way, and it's a free kick with Railways. Stewart, right foot. Bit of contest from him after he got rid of the ball. Four men fly. Ball spills out of that one. Steele was in there as well. Ball comes out of that one with Mathers. He gets the hand pass across now. The work of Jack Kennedy inside 50 for a contest. Going up and not doing too much out of that one with the Tigers defensively through Peach. Ball goes to the deck. That pole's in the way from a commentary point of view, but we're going to get a ball up to reset play.
Mathers has done really well there to keep that ball in play to get that eventually into their full 50. So they'll want to score out of this and reward him for that.
Scores all tied up in this second term thanks to MLG and our coverage on SEN. Ball comes out of the pack with the Tigers now. Travelled some 14 odd minutes in this second quarter. Ball out of there, lanes in there for the Railways Footy Club. Comes out of that one with the work of Jed Edwards. Right foot kick, Edwards, it's a 2-on-1. Yaron was taken out of that, and a minor score sees the Railways hit the lead by 1.
Beachy's just done enough there. Take it through for a minor.
That's all they needed. Ball comes out of that one pretty quickly to Jeb Swallow. He's got a little bit over on that far side. He had Trent Reid with him. Ball goes further down the line. Lockie Hawkins, I think it might be close on that far side. He's out on the full. No, he's still in play with the Tigers.
Jeb's been pretty influential this quarter for Boulder.
Yep.
Convert that to goals on the board. It's not happening for him at the moment.
As Hannigan gets the better of Wood, but the kick is chopped off in defence as well. In the middle of Digadors, here's Swallow speaking to him. He had a couple on, elects to slow things down, and they're just trying to man up on some numbers, as Captain Logan Hughes says, just slow it down as we move into forward 50.
I don't know if anyone's playing on Jeb. He might not have put deodorant on today.
He's got a long sleeve shirt. He might be on the old sweat glands a little higher than what he normally is. As Wood gets taken out of it, as a free kick being awarded to Wood. He's given away 3 in this period already, and he gets one back. Wood on 50. His kick is towards a hot spot. 2-on-1 contest over the top. We'll see a boundary throw in about 10 metres around from the goals, which haven't changed. 3-4 plays, 3-5 I think it should be, with that minor score to the Railways Footy Club. They're up by 1 point at the moment, as we've travelled some 16 odd minutes in this second term, thanks to MLG this particular quarter on SEN. Ball comes back in, comes out of the pack there with it. Might have been Newich with a kick on goal, who squares things up with a minor score.
You see when Newich goes down deep and plays down deep forward, he drags 2 defenders, one side by side with him, and now they're just sticking one in front of him. So that's what ends up happening. So in that occasion there should be a free player for Boulder somewhere.
So Leach was a target for that particular passage of play, as he and Sherry remonstrate. Bishop, who looks mummy-like. Yeah, he's got a fair bit going on there. Nothing worse with that is getting the tape off afterwards, but nothing a good hot shower can't fix. Big contest here right in front of us as Albie Dean manages to win possession, gets the kick away. Hooks was the target to try and get something for the Tigers. He does it, moves forward, goes to that far side. Maris is the only one there on his Pat Malone. He's got 2 to defend with. He gets around one, gets around that same one again, so twice, and also with Kelman in that mix too. Onto the ball there was Brett Blair. He was all wrapped up. Wraps up his opponent as well, and we'll see a ball up. So just a chance to catch our breath. The scoreboard I don't think is caught up. I think we're 3-5 apiece at the moment as we're approaching time on in this second quarter. MLG, thanks very much for the support for the second term here on SEN and for the Goldfields Footy League. Ball comes back into play, and we're all wrapped up again. We get another ball in. I thought there was an extra man down back for the Tigers, but it just happened to be the waterboard. It's just a quick scan down towards the defensive end for the Tigers. Ball comes out of this passage of play, though, all wrapped up, could be holding the ball. Umpire says he didn't have prior and to ball up. I think he might have whistled for it before we even called it up. Back up, Jordan Reid is the ruck contest there for the Tigers. Ball spills out of this ruck contest. The Tigers have got numbers there with Benny James. Ball spills out of that one, goes to ground. Umpire Dave Roberts says, give it to me. So Railways had a little bit of the footy towards the first bit of this quarter. Panthers just slowing things down in this latter bit of this term, Jordan.
Yeah, I think Railways, both sides will probably want to get one more goal before they go in, but I think Railways will probably pat themselves on the back by coming back, and I think it'll be Aaron Sweet's turn at half time to give him a bit of a tune-up.
Okay, so we're not too far away from that one. We might turn mics up for that. Ball comes back in from a contest. Big high hospital ball is potentially out of bounds on the full, and it will be a free, obviously, to the Tigers out of that. So they're on the far side in front of the Retrovision sign. The GFL Retrovision final series is underway with the grand final at the moment here at Digadors Oval. Pack forms just on 50. Ball spills out of that one. All wrapped up. I think it was Reece Lane holding the ball. And a free kick to Dean. He gets the kick away inside 50. Woods there close to the boundary line and uses the boundary line to effect. And we'll get a ball in about 25 metres around.
Might have been a bit stiff there. I don't think he had too much fire for that one.
It was a very quick amount of time. Travelled some 19 minutes in this second quarter. It's a hot day. Both teams will be looking for the Oranges at half time. Reid goes up for the Panthers. Clearing kick here for them. But Logan Hughes was first to the ball for the Boulder City Football Club. And he's just inside 50 at the moment. He's a little leaner than what he was a couple of years ago, Logan Hughes. Obviously, he went through a couple of injuries, so he hasn't spent as much time in the gym, but he's been working on his fitness. He's going to line up for a goal from just inside 50. He's only kicked just the 2
Working on
in
his stand as
2022.
well.
Where the old chippy stand. Big kick from him. Probably hasn't kicked too much. But if anything on the scoreboard is correct, I think that's the Tigers who skip away to a 1-point lead. 3-6 plays 3-5 by my calculations. Ball's in right in front of us. Bronson Bishop doing a fairly large amount of work. He's matured as a player as he's gotten on, hasn't he?
Yeah, I really rate Bronson. He's just turned into a good one-on-one player. He just never goes to ground. It's good core strength and yeah, just does his job. You can find a big guy like that who might not sort of keep his feet as much, but Bronson just never goes to ground at all.
So it's Reid who's dispossessed of the ball out of that. Swallow was almost taken out of it. Albie Dean manages to get a possession away. Hot on the tackle there of Jarvis DeLacy was Jai Rout, who's back on the ground, and we'll get a ball up.
And he's doing a bit of a job on Jai by the look of it.
So half-time, with a bit of an anticlimactic half-time. Sees the Tigers go in. The scoreboard says 3-6, 3-4. We'll confirm that for you in just a couple of moments' time. We seem to think it's 3-6, 3-5 out at Diggerdores Oval.